Movies and money. Ticket sales at the box office are brisk. Let's bring in movie man Erik Childress. Erik, there really is something for everyone right now on the big screen. The ladies of Prada stole the show once again, beating Mortal Kombat.
Now, I said Mortal Kombat might need $35 million to challenge for the top spot at the box office last week. Turns out the number was more around $41 million, as The Devil Wears Prada 2 once again took the top spot and could be in line to rule for a third straight weekend upcoming. In just 9 days, the sequel already outgrossed the original film on the domestic front and could be headed to outgross it by over $100 million. It has also beaten the original's $326 million global haul with over $433 million in just its first 10 days. The numbers are just remarkable here, as they are for Michael, which came in within $600,000 of beating Mortal Kombat for second place in its third weekend with $37.9 million and could be headed for as much as $375 million in North America. Globally, the film is about to pass $600 million, and we could see a challenge Bohemian Rhapsody's $911 million haul from back in 2018, which is still the highest gross ever for a music biopic, albeit two of the worst to ever carry the title.
You say The Devil Wears Prada 2 could be headed for a third straight week at the box office. Size up the competition on the way to theaters this weekend.
Not much, Angie, and that is less a potential quality factor as it is a light release weekend dominated by films from specialty companies that likely wouldn't compete even if Prada's numbers or even Michael's were lower. There is a new Guy Ritchie film called In the Gray with Jake Gyllenhaal and Henry Cavill.
Here's a quick look.
Call Gary into my office. There is a situation here.
I assure you you'd like to listen. The alternative is very expensive.
Gary! Get them out of my office now.
Gary, a moment. There are two versions of how this narrative plays out.
Exhibit A.
Gary waits patiently and quietly by the door.
Exhibit B.
Gary steps forward and you spend the next 6 hours sponging him off the walls. I know which version Gary would prefer.
What are your thoughts on In the Gray?
I was already lost at the new Guy Ritchie film. Apart from his get-out-of-movie-jail-free card films like Aladdin and his Sherlock Holmes films, none of his others have ever reached $50 million total on the domestic front. Now, Black Bear Pictures, which is putting this one out, is still just getting its feet wet in theatrical distribution after last year's Christie with Sydney Sweeney and Shelter with Jason Statham this past January. They'll have another film we'll discuss next week, but this week they aren't even letting critics see In the Gray, so expect very low numbers all around for this one. Amazon MGM is also putting out the revenge thriller Is God Is, starring relative unknowns Carrie Young and Mallory Johnson. If anything has any shot to best Prada 2 or even Michael, it could actually be the one-week re-release of Top Gun for its 40th anniversary, which actually began its run yesterday alongside Top Gun Maverick, the mega hit of 2022.
There is one more film opening in theaters, and while it might not be beating Prada, it's still your recommendation of the week.
It is, Angie, and this one is going out to the horror fans out there. It is a nifty little one called Obsession, which begins with an age-old concept of a lovelorn guy in the friend zone who uses a one-wish willow for that friend to love him unconditionally. If you have seen this horror concept in books, television, or movies over the years, you know it is not going to go as hoped. And while you may think this is just another film following the same old story, it is one that is particularly elevated by the performance of Indy Navarrete, who is absolutely fantastic as the woman under the spell. I only wish audiences could see the film as I did back at last year's Toronto Film Festival, as one particularly gruesome and hilarious scene has been trimmed down to avoid an NC-17 rating. Surely it will be restored for the eventual physical media release, but don't wait. Go out and see Obsession. It is a fun time at the movies.
Thank you, Erik. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Angie.